What's going on, YouTube fam? Today is another episode of Copycat. So today we actually have a photographer in mind, and he is actually a really famous photographer. He's well known everywhere, and if you haven't seen his photos, you're lying to me because I'm pretty sure you've seen his photos, but you might not know the name. If you shop at Urban Outfitters, I'm pretty sure you know him. He's really well known for his string light photos, his sparkler photos, his smoke bomb photos, and kind of just the way he edits is really significant, really special to him. He really edits a certain way, even when he's shooting in really dark situations, he manages to make it work. Now, he does shoot on a Nikon, which I'm just iffy about, but you know, he makes it work, and he does it really well, so I don't really mind. So today we are talking about...
Hey guys, welcome back. So if you're new here, my name's Brandon. I am a photographer based out of New York.
Before we get started with today's episode, I want you guys to comment below and let me know who you guys want me to do next. Now, I've got a bunch of people asking me to do Casey Neistat, and I'm definitely gonna do him. He's definitely one person I'm going to be doing. But if you guys have anybody else in mind, drop a comment below and I will definitely check them out. J.R. Ali's effects are kind of a little much for me, but one day I will definitely do a copycat for you, as long as, you know, I can catch up to that point. So anyways, before we get started with going through the editing process and seeing how he edits photos, we have to kind of consider how he takes photos. We are gonna go through the props, kind of a few props that could really get you started in the whole Brandon Woeefel look. Now I have a few on me, and then I have a few that I actually don't own, but I can basically describe to you guys. So let's get started with that. The first and the most important thing, the main thing that Brandon Woeefel is known for, string light. Brandon Woeefel is known for these right here. And now these can do so many things, so many reflections, so much bokeh. Let's say I set the string lights there. Now if it's, I'm not really sure, but there should be some bokeh behind me, some really cool bokeh of the string lights. So that's one thing that you can do with string lights, and that's something that Brandon Woeefel does really well. He uses the foreground too, so rather than just doing the bokeh background, he uses a bokeh foreground. So that's one thing you can do with string lights. Now you can pair up the string lights with many other combinations, such as a prism or glasses. Now glasses make a great prop because they cause reflections. There's a lot of reflections in glasses. Now if you look at my glasses, I'm not sure, but there should be some reflections of the lights in the glasses. I'm not sure if you guys can see that on the camera right now. I'm actually kind of blind now because I removed my glasses, so I can't see a thing. Glasses are a really good thing for reflections, and in a lot of Brandon Woeefel's portraits, people are wearing glasses for that reflection, and it creates a bokeh. You can add more to it, and it's a really cool effect, and it works really, really well and gives you a lot to work with. Now, if you want to use the prism alone, now this is a really easy technique, but it's kind of hard to figure out how to use it well. Now, all you got to do is hold it up to your lens. So let's say that this is the lens. Let me just grab a lens. So let's say that this is your lens, right? Well, it kind of is your lens, but I mean, it's not, it's my lens. So we're taking the prism and we're gonna hold it against the lens, not covering the entire lens, just the edges. And we're gonna slide it over a little bit, play around with it, and kind of get all this stuff, and you might see some shining on the lens. I can kind of see that. It kind of gives you this cool vibe. Now, what this does is, when you hold the side of a prism to the lens, it's gonna show you a different side. So I'm gonna see if I can do it with you guys right now. I'm not sure how it's turning out, but let's see. You guys could probably see another side of my room, and I hope it's not my feet because that's weird and I'm not wearing pants, but I really hope it's not that side. But you guys could probably see another side to it, and if not, then here's another one. I really hope you guys don't see my pants or whatever. It's a really cool effect. Now there's other props like smoke bombs and sparklers. Now these are really simple. All it does is light the sparklers, hold them in the foreground, hold them in the background, have a lot of sparkling going on. And then the smoke bombs is, self-explanatory. You light a smoke bomb and you do what you can with it because it only lasts like a minute or so. But he puts it in things like pumpkins, like this Halloween shot. He put in a pumpkin, a purple smoke bomb, and it came out really cool. You can put it in an umbrella, you can put it in anything. You can put it in something and it'll just make a really, really cool effect. So that is one thing to do with a smoke bomb that Brandon Woeefel also does. So now that we kind of walked through the props of what Brandon Woeefel uses, how he takes his pictures, and a lot of his pictures are actually taken at night or in really, really dark situations, which kind of adds to the effect of how he edits his photos. So that might be just the style, and even when he takes a picture during the day, I've seen that it comes out very dark and less contrasty and kind of faded. Let's take a shot at it and try to edit like Brandon Woeefel. Alright guys, so here I actually have a photo that I took back in 2015 or so, 2016 possibly, probably 2016, and this is with my friend Jade, and we had lights set up on her bed frame in the back, and then I had her holding some string lights along with, I actually had her holding 2 pairs of string lights. So we're going to be editing this photo because we have the glare and the glasses, those little, bokeh balls, and we have the bokeh in the back, and then we also have the foreground bokeh. Now, Brandon Woelfel actually uses a lot of this foreground bokeh along with the background bokeh, but he kind of cleans up the little glasses bokeh, but we're gonna get into that later. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this photo and make it cooler. Now, Brandon Woelfel really likes it blue. Blue and pink are kind of his style, so we're gonna kind of play around with it and see what we can do. And I think that this is a good point here. So we're gonna tone up the clarity just a little bit. I'm gonna, handle all this later. We're just kind of doing like rough adjustments right now. Now Brandon loves pushing up those shadows and highlights. So I'm actually gonna take these whites and bring them down, and bring these blacks up a bit and these shadows, and I'm going to take the tone curve and I'm going to bring it down, see what happens here. Let's actually take this vibrancy down a little bit. So I want this faded look. Let's throw some grain on there because I'm pretty sure that uses some grain, right? I'm pretty sure. His blues are a cyan, so he loves using those really cyan looking blues, and we're going to add some saturation to that. And let's see what we can do. Let's make these a little more pink. Bring up that. Okay. These controls, reds. He goes for that really faded look. So let's actually make it kind of faded. So we're gonna take the tone curve and bring it up a little. So now we have this faded look here. And let's see if we can do the same with the highlights. It's gonna be a little too much. Gonna bring this down a little bit. So we have this thing here. The blacks look a little bit too black for me. It's from the tone curve that happened. So I'm actually gonna take this down a notch. Let's see what we can do with the highlights. So, let's see. Hold on, just 1 second. Brandon Woelfel's style changes a lot. Let's kind of mix it up. Okay. He still keeps a little bit of blue, but the skin tones stay kind of orange. So let's try to keep it in a semi-orange looking type of feel. I like the way that looks. He loves using blue. So in a lot of Brandon Woelfel's photos, you see blue and pink. So a lot of his photos are just blues and pinks. So let's try to mimic all those blues and all those pinks and kind of see what we can end up with there. Because he's a really like colorful neon kind of guy, so let's try to imitate that. So this looks good so far. I like where this is headed. Let's try to do some split toning really quick and see how that goes. So let's add some blue to it. Let's see what it looks like if we do pink. Let's leave it here on this little green type. Do some split toning here as well. Let's maybe throw in pink. Let's see how it looks. Maybe tone it down a little. Let's take a look from the original now to the new. Now that is a huge difference. Look at this, the before right here, and then look at the after. That is in a completely different photo. Now, so far it's looking really good. There's something off about it. I feel like it's way too blue. So I'm actually gonna bring it over more to the pink now. Bring it more to the greens. No, actually, this is really complicated. I don't know. This is actually okay. Let's play with these shadows. Let's see what we can do here. Let's bring the shadows up. I'm actually gonna bring the highlights down. Now this is actually looking more like a Brandon Woelfel photo. Now as you can see, like this is how I imagined Brandon Woelfel's photos. Like before I even started the series months ago, I was like, yeah, Brandon Woelfel I feel like Brandon Woelfel just bring his highlights all the way down, his shadows all the way up, and it's actually kind of starting to look like a Brandon Woelfel photo, and that's pretty funny. Because I never thought it would be like that, but it feels like it is. So I'm kind of having a problem with the skin tones here, because I'm looking at his style on the phone right now, on my phone, and the skin tones kind of match like a real skin tone now. Like his new style, the way he works, his skin tones match with the actual color of skin. And the problem here is that mine are pink because of the lights and the whole setup itself already, which is kind of hard for me to manipulate here. I mean, it's honestly whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but it just happens that way. So I like the way this looks. Maybe I'll throw on some more grain to add to it. Yeah, so this looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit too blue, so I'm gonna add a little bit more orange to that. Let's see. Final adjustments. Anybody final adjustments? I think this may be my Brandon Woelfel photo. So honestly, I feel like you just kind of go crazy with the colors, kind of play around with it. Make sure you drop those highlights down a little bit. So because, like I said, Brandon Woelfel shoots a lot in the dark, so a lot of his photos will have that faded look. So he takes these shadows and throws them up all the way. He takes those highlights and drops them down, and you know, kind of plays around with that, you know. So that's honestly what I think looks like a Brandon Woelfel photo. Maybe a little bit brighter, possibly. Depends on the situation, you know. Everybody has their own, you know, feels. But let's say that I threw in a prism reflection here. That would be crazy, but I did not get that for this shot. But I feel like Brandon Woelfel would add a prism here and then do some really cool stuff. But we're not done yet. Now we're gonna hop on over to Photoshop. So I'm gonna go here, edit in Adobe Photoshop CC. Let's just forget about manipulating, adding the bokeh. Let's clean up the bokeh here, or add, like, fix it up, because you can see that it cuts off here and then it cuts off here. So let's kind of add to it, you know. So I'm gonna take the spot healing brush and go onto this layer here. Let's do the healing, right? So we're gonna grab. So yeah, I just use the healing brush, and I'm gonna draw a little bit of more bokeh on her face. Now this is not the way that Brandon does it. I'm pretty sure this isn't how he does it, but this is how I'm gonna do it for a quick, like, a really quick run through. Now if you come out, you see a lot more bokeh in the eyes, and you know, I'm just adding more to it. Let's grab some here with this here, some more blue, add to that. So now if you look at it, there's a lot of sparkle in the glasses, and you have the foreground and all of this. Now let's jump back to the previous image. Let's save this. Boom, boom, edit, saving. All right, back to Lightroom. So this is the new image, and let's jump back to the old image. Just one second. This is the previous image, and this is the new image. Now, it's pretty insane how far you come when you edit this photo, but it's really cool, and I think this counts as a Brandon Woelfel inspired copycat image. So I think that's our picture, guys. Just try to copycat Brandon Woelfel, and this is how it went. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode of Copycat. I really hope this helped you, and I really wonder if you guys kind of pick something off of this, because I know a lot of you know Brandon Woelfel, and you know, this kind of helps you with the editing style, copying the editing style, and kind of learning your limits in Lightroom or whatever editing software you use, seeing how high you can go with those highlights or how low you can go with those shadows without making it too noticeably weird. You know, Brandon Woelfel really pushes his limits when he's editing. I hope this helped you. Leave me a comment below. Let me know who you guys want me to do next, photo or video. Don't care who it is. Don't care if I know them. Drop it in the comments below. I will check them out and see what I can do. Share this video if you liked it. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much, and stay awesome.